Imagine, you're out in a nice restaurant, you pick your dish, but instead of being given a wine list, you're given a beer list. We went down to a beer food pairing tasting session to see what all the fuss is about.
I've had Alan Williams in the Westbury in Mayfair, I've had Fragua with our Single Brew Reserve 2012, which is stunning. But even simple things like mackerel pate and Chalky's Bite, that's why Chalky's Bite was created in the first place, and that was sort of endorsed by Rick Stein.
And you would hope that beer will be brought up to the same level as wine, because it's a beautiful product. It's got a much more diverse range of flavours than wine, so it is much better for pairing with food.
If you're gently cooking a piece of white fish or a ray wing, then a Pilsner would be really good because you wouldn't want anything to overpower them. But then if you've got some richer like barley wines, with chocolate cake works really well, or vintage blends with cheeses. Certain beers, like our Honey Spice Triple, matches beautifully with a treacle tart, but also with goat's cheese. And there's not many dessert wines that will be able to do a savoury as well as a sweet. So it's dual purpose, multi-purpose.
So why is craft beer growing in popularity?
Everything that people can eat and drink. I think people these days are much more into flavour, they're much more into new and interesting things. I think craft beer gives people something which is different.
There's so many different flavours, and all of those ingredients combined, the vast broad spectrum of beer is quite incredible, because beer can be 2% or it can be 22%.
But perhaps it's best not to know what's in your beer.
In 2010 I did a beer using kidneys, liver and heart. Yes, an offal beer, which was very interesting, had a great body. It was a really dark beer, so it would have gone really well with a sort of a rich stew, and it was actually a very good component in the stew, adding the meat back into the meat, if you know what I mean.
There's some guys in America that have cultivated a yeast from a beard. There's some pretty wild ingredients that have been used for brewing beer.